How is it going, everybody? It is your boy Marcus, the Low Vision Gamer here, and welcome back to part 2 of the Beginner's Guide to Marvel Snap. In the previous episode, I kind of just gave you guys, I kind of showed you guys around the game, showed you the different modes and the shop. But today, I want to go ahead and talk about abilities. And there are 5 total. Well, there's technically a new one called Activate, but I'm not super familiar with that yet. But instead, we're going to be focusing on 5 of these, which are On Reveal, Ongoing, Discard, Move, and Destroy. The 2 common abilities that you're going to want to learn is On Reveal and Ongoing. Those are the basics. Now, I think in the last video, I probably did talk about On Reveal and Ongoing briefly, but I'm going to talk about them again. So, On Reveal basically means that as soon as the card flips, the ability will happen. So, for example, if you play a card like Maria Hill, it says On Reveal, add a random 2-cost card to your hand. So it could be anybody, and any 2-cost card that's in the game. And as you can see, she costs 1 energy, and she has 2 power. You could use her in some different decks. That's actually going to be the next episode, is building a deck and picking out the best cards. But for now, we're going to stick to abilities. But yeah, so On Reveal, I would say definitely has some perks. So if we just click on Reveal here, you can see. I'm going to go ahead and also turn on just the favorites so we're not having all variants. But you've got some great ones, especially from the get-go, like Medusa, which this card can basically take advantage of the middle location. You also have something like Jessica Jones, which her ability is if you don't play a card at this location, plus 4 power. So you're kind of making her even stronger. But then, what's also kind of neat is there are some cards that can either increase the amount of times that an ability happens, or boost certain cards with that certain ability. Now, Spectrum here actually can boost another ability type, which is Ongoing, and that's the next one that we'll talk about. So yeah, with Spectrum here, she can basically make Ongoing cards a little bit stronger. Now, what does Ongoing mean? Well, basically, it means that as soon as you place the card down, the ability will happen, but a lot longer. So, for example, let's say you place something like, Kazar, where it says your 1-cost cards here have +1 power. So whether that be Ant-Man, or something like Ant-Man, or I think there's a few other. Let me check. You got Ant-Man, you have Echo, Ebony Maw, or basically any 1-cost card that you have in your deck. That can be a very versatile card. So Ongoing can be a pretty good ability to have in a lot of your decks. For example, maybe like Luke Cage is a pretty good card because he can prevent all your cards from being reduced. Now, one thing I did forget to mention is that even though there are cards that can boost your on reveal abilities, there are also some cards that can remove them. For example, Cosmo here can actually can make it so that your unreveal abilities won't trigger. So you're gonna have to keep in mind, if you do get this card, you're gonna have to keep in mind what your best strategy of you're gonna have to keep in mind of what cards you want in that deck along with Cosmo. Maybe you want a bunch of ongoing cards, which I would suggest. But there's also cards like Wong here, which is one of the cards that can actually boost your on-reveal power. So it says ongoing. Your on-reveal abilities here happen twice. So if you've got the right cards and you have the right strategy, you can pull off some pretty good combos. In fact, I actually have a YouTube short kind of showcasing Wong's power. Dude's pretty amazing. So yeah, ongoing is the second primary ability type, but just like with the on-reveal stuff, the same can happen with your ongoing. So cards like Enchantress, it says on reveal, remove the abilities of all ongoing cards here. And it's not even just your opponent, it can also happen to you. So you really need to be careful when you're playing Enchantress, because if you have a deck that's mostly ongoing cards, and this is in your hand, and you already have ongoing cards on the field, when you play that, you're essentially stripping away their abilities. So, for example, let's say you have Luke Cage on the board. If you put Enchantress down, you're basically stripping away his ability, making him kind of useless. But there are some cases where it might just work. For example, a card like Typhoid Mary here, a 4-cost 10 power card. Her ability says ongoing. Your other cards have -1 power, which essentially means that they'll be losing power. But if you play Enchantress where Typhoid Mary is, you can essentially keep the 10 power. Keep that 10 power and hopefully win you the game. But there's another card that can also affect your ongoing abilities, and that's this one here, Sauron. And it says on reveal, remove the abilities from all ongoing cards in your hand and deck. Now, the deck part isn't, I'm not super concerned about that. That shouldn't be concerning. What should be concerning is your hand, right? Because if you're using a lot of ongoing cards and you play Sauron, there goes your deck. Your whole deck is ruined because you've already used Sauron in there. But yet again, though, you play that, you use that for Typhoid Mary, you can strip away that ability, and now you have a good amount of power. In fact, I actually have a deck with this card and Sauron. So I'll go ahead and play a few matches showing you how some of these cards work. Now that the two primary abilities are out the way, we're going to jump into Discard next. Now, Discard is kind of an interesting one and a little bit more advanced, I would say. Basically, with this card is, what that means is you'll basically remove a card from your hand, or sometimes on the playing field. It kind of depends. There are a whole bunch of cards that can either discard other ones or can actually take advantage of that ability. For example, Apocalypse. This card is amazing when it comes to discarding, because it says when you discard this, it put it back with +4 power. So the more you discard Apocalypse, the stronger he'll get. So you can get him from 8 to 12, 12 to 16, and so on and so on. In fact, the highest that I've gotten Apocalypse to was like a 30, which is pretty big. But also, if you use that with a card like Dracula, it's like the best combo you can get. And it says at the end of the game, discard a card from your hand to gain its power. So, for example, if you had Apocalypse in your hand, Dracula could pick this up, and it will have 9 power essentially. Even more if you've boosted up Apocalypse. So discarding cards can definitely be useful to have in your hand, and they're really, really fun to play with. So next we have Destroy. Now, if you guys have any questions about any cards or like any abilities, go ahead and throw them down in the comments, and if I can, I'll make sure to leave a little response for you guys. But the next ability is going to be Destroy, and what that means is your cards will basically get eliminated, right? Not necessarily discarded, but they'll kind of be removed from they'll be removed from both your hand, deck, that kind of thing. And there's a lot of cards that can take advantage of that ability. So if you play something like Bucky Barnes, when you destroy him, he'll become the Winter Soldier. But there are also some cards like Armor who can make it so that your cards won't get destroyed. And if your opponent has one, it might ruin your strategy. But luckily, though, there are some cards like X-23 that can give you energy when it is destroyed. Oh, and discarded too. Maybe I might have to make a change to my discarding deck, because I might want to get some extra energy. But yeah, so there are a lot of different strategies you can cook up and really get creative with how you use destroying cards. But yeah, if I had to pick a favorite, I think for sure it would have to go to X-23, just because you get +1 energy every time it gets destroyed. But it's also a discarding card too, so I might put that into my deck. And the final ability that I have yet to talk about is called Move. Now this one, I gotta say, is a little bit tricky. In fact, I'll admit I haven't really used a lot of cards with this ability. But basically what it means is that you can move cards around the board to different locations, or you can move your opponent's cards. This one kind of lets you... This one definitely gives you a good amount of plays So you could play something like Ghost Spider, which says on reveal, the last card you played moves here. You have Arrow, move the last enemy card played anywhere to this location. You have the Human Torch, you have Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. Really cool and fun cards that you can mess around with and see how they work. So yeah, I think a good starting card when it comes to moving would probably be Nightcrawler. You can only move it once, but it will kind of give you a sense of... It will kind of give you a good sense of how the ability works. But you could also use something like Iron Fist too, where after you play a card, he'll move it one location to the right. So a lot of fun with this one. There's a lot of fun stuff you could do with it. But now that I've kind of explained how some of these abilities work to the best of my abilities, it's now time to jump into some matches. I'm probably just going to do maybe 2. But to start, I'm going to show off my discarding deck. Although, I do want to make one change here. And I think I know what it's going to be. 1 cost, discard. We're going to go ahead and remove Black Knight. And we're going to add X-23 into the mix. I've always just had this one in my destroy deck, which I will show off next. So we already have our discarded deck. I just have it at deck 2 right now. I'm probably gonna edit it. Probably gonna change the name, but so far we got a pretty decent hand. We have Ravonna Renslayer, which says ongoing. Your cards with 1 or less power cost 1 less. So, for example, Drac or Dracula, that can be a little bit cheaper. After each turn, ooh, okay. So we don't want to play anything there. And unfortunately, we don't have anything that could change that. So, the Sandbar. Cards that didn't start in your hand. Cards that didn't start in your hand cost 1 more. Max 6. Ooh. Okay. So what I'm going to do to start... I'm going to do Okoye just to kind of get every card in my deck plus, let me check. I think it was plus 1 power. My opponent played Psylocke, which gives them plus 1 energy. Luckily, I might have something that can give me even more energy. So we're going to go ahead and put Ravonna Renslayer. I'm not going to put Blade yet. I don't want to waste that. I don't want to waste Blade just yet. If I did put him down, I would probably put something like Beast to save it, but I really don't want to get rid of his I don't want to get rid of his power. Now, in terms of one card that I'm after each turn. Ooh, okay. So I think this might be a good time to use Blade, and then maybe we'll play, after you play a card here, I think I'm probably going to play Beast next. Do I play it with Dracula, or do we play it with... Ooh, okay, that's actually good. Oh, nice. Okay, sweet. Now I can start playing on the left side. Oh, wait, no! Shoot! Okay, that wasn't necessarily the plan I wanted to go for, but I suppose... Actually, wait a minute, though. We can use Hela. I'm going to use Hela for this turn, because if we can bring back the other discarded cards, they're going to have -2 power, but... Yeah, there you go. Bring back Lady Sif, because we do need more power. Oh, but they're playing Devil Dinosaur. So now we need to hope that our opponent is going to... We'll put Nakia. We have a good amount of power, because Nakia will give it +1 power, and then we have X-23. And then even we could go Beast probably, or do we go Beast right here? Because luckily we have the location for Dracula full. X-23, and then Beast is gonna send everybody back. Hopefully I didn't make a bad choice. Hopefully it picks Apocalypse, because if not... Oh boy. This might be a tough one to crack, guys. Wait. Oh yeah, definitely picked. Oh wait. Oh, but it's kind of too late for that. But that's okay though, because we won that game. I have to check on my notifications. But that's a win. We were able to secure it. Now it's time to play using my Auto X-23 deck. This is a destroying deck, so you'll get to see those cards in action. So... Ooh, alright. Okay. Ruin a random location. Ooh. Oh, they played the Undo. That's a pretty cool variant. I think what I'm going to do... I'm going to play... Let's go... Wolverine... Let's go... Bucky Barnes... Oh, dang. Okay. Now I'm gonna play... Let's go... I'll reveal the next card you play. So we'll play Carnage. My opponent is also using a Destroy deck. We have X-23. So now what we could do is do X-23, or do we wait to reveal or do we wait until X23 gets revealed? I think that's probably what we're gonna do, is wait for X23 to be revealed, so then that way we can get rid of... Okay, so they're gonna go ahead and play Carnage. They also have a Wolverine. So my opponent is essentially playing the same deck as I am. But now I think I'm gonna go ahead. Are they using any ongoing cards? Because this would be a good time to disable. We don't have any ongoing cards. But what I will do, we only have X23 available to destroy, but that's fine. That's okay. Because so far, guys, we really don't have... Wave. Ooh, they're playing Death. I think I really want to play Killmonger. What we could do... Yeah, we got to get rid of that Death. That Death is going to be a problem. So... Yeah, we got to get rid of that Death, because I know that card is going to be a big problem. And they're playing a Bucky Barnes. Come on, get Killmonger. Yes, perfect. There you go, get rid of it.
Power must be controlled.
I think that's a loss though. Dang. Oh man. Well guys, that wasn't a win, but that is okay. I think this is a good spot to kind of end the lesson, so to speak. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. And speaking of subscribing, I do actually have a second channel where I plan to post even more Marvel Snap content. But yeah, comment down below what you thought about this video, and yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.